Oh, what a beautiful morning! And oh, what a beautiful day! Is there really calm after a storm? I was reading a recent poem, and this poem really described our next guest. I am tired. I am worn. For this is the calm after the storm. Heartbeat ceases to race. Everything seems to fall into place. Take comfort in cycles and patterns. Separate the insignificant from what matters. History repeats itself, they say. The universe works in funny ways. So push thoughts of growing older, of growing colder, or forgetting to be bolder to the back of my mind. Today, we shall see if there's calm after the storm. A family went through a heartbreaking experience of losing their home to a fire. And without further ado, let's hear more about their experience from them.
Well, hello there. My name is Reverend David Heisty, and my wife Barbara. We're involved in our community as best we can. I'm a pastor that is appointed to the Rotterdam United Methodist Church, but prior to that I was appointed to the Stanford and the Albany Street United Methodist Churches, and over the years we've started different outreaches. One of them being a March for Jesus, where every year we go through the community singing music, Christian music, and we end up at Jerry Burrell Park, where we have food and water and things for folks to eat, and ice cream after that, and just for a while just have Christian music in our community. And we usually have 400, 500, maybe 600 people that turn out every year.
We are both involved in the Conference Commission on Religion and Race, and that has been a focus of ours for many, many years. We're still serving on boards, commissions for that purpose. So that's a focus in our minds and our hearts, that we recognize everybody as individuals and important, and we're all brothers and sisters in God's world. And through that ministry, we gain a lot. We gain a lot of understanding with other people, and that allows David to do a lot of outreach ministry as well with people in the community. So that's the biggest thing that I can think of. And then, of course, we have the ministry of our family. Our family is very important to us, and right now our family has been going through a tragedy. My son and his family lost their house to a fire 4 days before Christmas, December 21st. About 11 o'clock at night, their house caught fire. My son, my daughter-in-law, my oldest grandson, who was 19, and then I have twin grandchildren, 3 years old, and they were in the house. They were able to get out, but the house is pretty much gone. So they're living with us right now. So my house has now become a giant toy box, thanks to the generosity of people who've made contributions to them and brought them toys, besides the toys that we had here. But our biggest focus right now has caused me to step aside from a lot of what David has been doing. He continues, I continue to support him, but our prayer life, the prayer life that we have with other pastors in the community every Tuesday, is most important. The prayer support that we offer to one another, to the other people in the churches, and that they offer to us is greatly needed, and we certainly appreciate that support. It's hard. It's hard to understand why things happen sometimes, but yet in the end you trust God. You know that God doesn't leave you. You know that no matter what goes on, one of my most favorite Bible verses is the Ecclesiastes, which says that there is a time and a season for everything. And there's a time to laugh, and there's a time to cry. And there's a time to give and a time to forgive. And it goes on and on. And so this is our time right now to pull together as a family, to receive support from people in the community, people that we know, people that we don't know. We've had calls from people from other Methodist churches. My son is involved with a group of friends, and they have supported him by doing clothing drives and financial support. Right now they will not be able to go back in their house. So like I said, they're living with us until they can decide what they're going to do. But that's where we are right now. As much as David can give to the community, now we're able to receive some, and it's all through God's grace that we can. As I said before, Ecclesiastes 3:1-8 is one of my favorite scripture verses, a time for everything. And let me read it to you. To everything there is a season, a time for every purpose under heaven, a time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to pluck what is planted, a time to kill and a time to heal, a time to break down and a time to build up, a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance, a time to cast away stones and a time to gather stones, a time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing, a time to gain and a time to lose, a time to keep and a time to throw away, a time to tear and a time to sow, a time to keep silence and a time to speak, a time to love and a time to hate, a time of war and a time of peace. I have this hanging on the wall in one of my rooms in the house, and every once in a while I just go and read it again. So I just thought I would share that with you. God brings us to something, and God brings us through something to the other side. So no matter what you go through, I never give up hope, because I know that apart from my husband, my best friend is God, and I can talk to God about anything and everything, and I have sincere faith that God hears me. So in the winter, it's dreary, but spring is going to come, and there'll be new things, and the babies will go outside and play and laugh and have a good time. They do it now. Right now, the one thing that saddens me is to hear them play sometimes. They play with a little dollhouse thing that they have here. And the other day they were playing and they were talking about fire. And they were saying, "Fire, fire, get out, get out." And so in their mind, they're still reliving part of that fire. And the smoke, every once in a while my grandson will pick up his shoes and he'll smell them and he'll say, "Smoke, smoke." So we've been cleaning and Febrezing as much as we can and to get the smoke smell out. But they remember what they went through. They came out with just a blanket wrapped around them, and my granddaughter had her shirt on and my grandson had a pair of jammy bottoms on, and that was it. My older grandson wrapped them in blankets and pulled them out, and fortunately there was a neighbor next door who invited them in the house, and when I got there, that's where they were. It's tragedy. It hurts the kids more than anybody, and yet the kids are resilient. They laugh. They laugh. A time to laugh, that no matter what, they're laughing and they're playing. So thanks be to God for family.
make us laugh.
Yeah.
Yes, just a minute ago, Barbara mentioned about how the churches came together, and I guess I must say that when we talk about the connectional system in the United Methodist Church, I was truly amazed by all the connections that reached out, sent us different things, sent us checks. We ended up getting a pair of snow pants that came from Delmar, and it just went on and on. And farthest out I can think of is Bainbridge. Somebody called us from Bainbridge. I don't even know where Bainbridge is for sure, but I know it's out west a ways. And they were willing to send out a check, which we received already, and in order to help with some of this. And just the way it connection, because you look at the main office, and one of the pastors that oversees things and works with the bishop's office indicated and sent word that he was praying for us. He was concerned about things and about how things were going for us. So it's really wonderful to have a connection with the United Methodist Church. But I also want to say that there's been other churches, other denominations, who knew who we are and were willing to send either some clothes. There was some very fine suits that came in. Another time there was just a check that said, "We don't know what to do, but can this help?" So it's just wonderful to be able to see Christians coming together to support one another. And I believe this has been a real amazement to me. Yes, someone said that, things change, things happen in our lives and we don't know why. A good example is our son here, Robert. He's been the one that's gone through a fire. He's been the one that everybody made it out alive. Nobody got burned, but the house is a wreck. And so I'd like to introduce to you Robert.
Hello, I'm Robert Cooper. I was affected by a tragedy on December 21st. My family and I lost my home. Me, my wife, my 19-year-old son, my 3-year-old twins. About 11:45 at night, my twins came downstairs and were joking around the way that they always do. Big jokers. Came down the stairs and said, "Mommy, TV's not working." I'm half asleep in my chair watching my TV. I said, "Okay, give me a minute, I'll be right up. I'll fix it." They were known to pull the electrical cords out of the walls, hit the remote button, whatever, the way 3-year-old kids do. So I waited a couple minutes. Probably a couple minutes too long, who knows. Got up out of my chair, went up, started to go up my stairs, and all of a sudden I smelled smoke. And then I had the smoke detectors go off in my head. So then I flew up the stairs to see my 3-year-old twins and my wife standing in the doorway of smoke and the glimpse of fire coming from underneath the bed. This happened in a amount of 4 seconds, maybe 5 tops, from the time I hit the stairs to get up to my bedroom floor. This fire happened underneath my wife's bed. She was practically asleep. The only reason that the babies woke up is because the TV went off. So there was a difference of light, there was a difference of sound. If you're a light sleeper, you would have known something was going on. If you're a deep sleeper, you better have a smoke detector. Mm-hmm. Any of you people, and I used to be a very big culprit of it, who pulls out a battery out of a smoke detector because it's annoying because someone's cooking, puts a little bit too much smoke in your kitchen, a little too much smoke in your house. Put that battery back in, because that battery saved my family's life. It only takes a split second for something to get engulfed in flames. Don't be a hero. Don't try to get it out yourself. I did that. I was a trained firefighter for almost 20 years, and I myself made stupid mistakes that I used to teach people not to do. But when your family's in trouble, you don't care. You'll do whatever it takes to get them out. It doesn't matter if you're in physical pain because of surgeries that you've had a couple months previous and your doctors are telling you not to lift more than 10 pounds, you will pick your 2 babies up, throw them on your arms, grab your wife, pick her up like a sack of potatoes and take her down 2 flights of stairs and you had to come out of the door. You just do what you have to do to make sure your family's safe. If your son's downstairs in his basement bedroom, you'll put your foot through the floor just to get his attention and get him out. I know you asked my mother a question and she made something. Everybody listen, that we are our brother's keeper. That is true. That is true in many aspects, not just in a religious standpoint, but in an organizational standpoint. It is a statement that is made that should never be taken lightly, because we are our brother's keepers one way or the other, in a religious standpoint or in a personal standpoint. After this tragedy happened and I had to start picking up the pieces, nobody knows what pieces you have to pick up until everything crashes down on you. The night of the fire, I had 4 of my closest family with me. And I'm not talking about family like my mother and my wife and my kids. I'm talking about family that you make family. Not all family is related by birth. Family is related by being family, by being your brother's keeper, by having your life entrusted in their hands, their life entrusted in yours. Someone that you can call at 11:45 in the morning, knowing that they are, actually I should say 11:45 at night, knowing that they're asleep because they have wife and kids, they have their own life. But at a drop of a hat, you can make a phone call, and that brother of yours is to your house in your tragedy in a matter of minutes. People that you can count on. That is what I believe my mother meant by why are we our brother's keeper. Because we need help in times of trouble. We need help in times of need. Not always in tragedy, but even in an everyday life, we need our brothers. We need our sisters, if you will. But most of the time it does come out in a tragic standpoint. I had that family there because I did not know what to do. I broke down. I broke down in the middle of the street. I broke down in the neighbor's yard. They were there to pick me up and say, we'll get you through it. So you know you need somebody to get your family into a safe spot for the night. That somebody was my mother. I had my mother take my wife and my 3-year-old twins and my 15-year-old son, which just happened to be there to help me, take them back to a safe place. Because it was negative degrees outside. I had my twins. The safest thing for me to do was to take them out the door, but they had no clothes on. One had just a diaper because they were getting ready to go to bed. 3-year-old twins don't always like to have clothes on. But in an emergency, you don't take time to open up a drawer and put on pajamas. You just got to get out the door. My wife had no shoes on. All she had on was the clothes that she was sleeping with. But you still got to get them out the door. So one of my brother's keepers was my mother that night. She came over to show me the love that a mother only can do. Wrapped her arms around me because I am a cynical, cynical man. I don't have the beliefs, I don't have the faith that my mother does. My mother is my rock and my soul. Without her, I won't be able to go day to day. A lot of people say I love my mother in a standpoint of everyone says they love their mother. Me, the man that I'm sitting here right now, and I'll break it up in front of the camera. Might have to take a break in a second, come give me a minute. I love my mother. I love my mother more than anything in this world. She was there within a matter of minutes, waking up. And I'm not making fun of my mother's age. My mother don't move as quick as she used to. She's getting up there in age, as we all are. But she still got over there in minutes, knowing that her son's gonna need her. She didn't say anything when she first came up. She did the thing that a good mother's gonna do. She wraps her arms around me, says it's gonna be okay, says we'll figure out a way to make it work. Things happen, we'll figure it out. My mom said that to me all my life. Because you have a fire, the life gets ripped out of you. So when someone asks how a victim feels, they don't have that answer. They're going to give you the answer that you want to hear, just to stop that conversation. They're going to say, you ask them what do you need, they're going to say, I don't know. I'm all right. I got everything I need right now. Thank you. For the most part, that's going to be the type of answer you're going to get. If you ask them, can I do anything for you? They're going to say, no. I'm okay. I'll figure it out. I got my family. We'll figure it out. They're lying on both aspects because they don't know what they need. They don't know how to figure it out. There's no right or wrong answer on any of this. But as a person that goes through it, and I hate using the word victim because I didn't have a person that actually did this to me. This wasn't a fault of anybody. This was a freak accident that no one would have been able to tell in a million years. It was an electrical accident that could have never been tested or found out about by 100 inspectors if you wanted. It was a freak accident. I'm just happy that my family got out alive. I was happy I was able to take care of them and get them out, because if I was not home, they would not have made it out. That is the only thing that keeps me going. So when people ask me what I need or how I'm feeling, the only thing that I need is my family. I'm glad, I'm grateful, I'm happy my family is out of that situation alive. And I didn't have anyone else there with me. I have more children. One of my sons lived with my mother because it's where he's comfortable. There is no nuclear family anymore. There is no leave it to beaver. That doesn't exist. The ideal family that people have in their heads don't exist. So not all of your family is always together. But that son came over with my mother that night to make sure that his dad was fine. He didn't care about the house and his possessions that were in there. He came to me, put his arm around me and said, Dad, it'll be all right. Please calm down. I'm afraid you're going to have a heart attack. Because I was very upset, and I don't break down in front of people, but I broke down that night because my life, that chapter of my life that I created for my wife and for my twins and for my other children to come by, that life got ripped right out of me. The church that I grew up in, those people, though I may not see them on a yearly basis, when I do come across them, that was a family back then. Those people will always stay close to my mother's heart. Which to me, if they stay close to my mother's heart, anyone close to my mother is close to me. Anyone that is close to my stepfather David, which is my father, you can take that stepfather right out the window, because that doesn't count. That's on paper. David's my father. Barbara's my mother. Anyone that is friends with them is friends of mine, especially all of you, if you watch this or not, that have helped me and reached out to me and my family. I appreciate it. I don't have any other words except for appreciation. Thank you. Family members will reach out because of other family members. Friends will be by your side no matter what you need. And they will ask you what you need, and I'm not going to keep going in this vicious circle and saying it. They will help you. Then you have strangers out of the kindness of their heart that don't know you, that don't know your family, but they may know one of your friends. Because your friend reached out for you, knowing that the pain that you're going through. So you can have a distant friend that reached out for you, and one of their family members or one of their friends, they've now in turn reached back to you. Don't be stubborn. Accept it. Because people are caring, people are loving, thank you. Thank everybody that's helped me. If you find someone in need, I don't care if it's a quarter, if it's $5, don't be so self-consumed. Help someone that needs it. I'm not going to ask for help for myself. I just don't do it. Help somebody else. Help that mom that lost the house with all of her kids. Help that mom that is expecting a baby that now has no house, no baby clothes, no cribs that she had already purchased waiting for the baby to come. Help the families that have lost their life on a physical and a mental standpoint. Be a good person. That's the best thing I can say. And, you know, why does God make things happen? They teach you to be a better person one way or the other. Because there are good people out there.
Well, welcome back. I'm still trying to bake the muffins. But finally, I think we're finished. I hope you enjoyed our show today. If you would like to make an order or donate muffins to charity, then please go to the website listed below. With every muffin order, we donate muffins to the charity of your choice. I call it giving your dough to charity. I also encourage you to donate directly to the featured charity today by going directly to our website and getting their information. Thank you very much for watching, and keep on dancing through life by giving to others through love. Let me finish baking these muffins, and see you next time.